If your football team had one option in their playbook, the results probably wouldn't be great. The same could be said for your investments. SIBO index options like SPX and XSP can help expand your investing strategies with cash settlement and potential tax advantages. If you're ready for a more dynamic game plan, head to betterwithoptions.com. SIBO, life is better with options. Your investments could be too. There are risks associated with SIBO company products. Review the disclosures and disclaimers at SIBO.com/US_disclaimers.
Are negative Google reviews hurting your business? Don't let unfair feedback cost you customers. At Webamax, we specialize in removing false, misleading, and damaging reviews so your online reputation stays strong. Our expert team works quickly and legally to clean up your digital presence, helping you rebuild trust. Visit us on the web at www.gowebamax.com. That's GOWEBIMAX.com, or text us for a free quote at 856-840-8343. Don't let bad reviews define you. Get immediate help from Webamax.
This episode is brought to you by Nerds Gummy Clusters, the sweet treat that always elevates the vibe. With a sweet gummy surrounded with tangy, crunchy nerds, every bite of Nerds Gummy Clusters brings you a whole new world of flavor. Whether it's game night, on the way to a concert, or kicking back with your crew, unleash your senses with Nerds Gummy Clusters.
This episode is brought to you by Allstate. Some people just know they could save hundreds on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Like you know to check the date of the big game first before you accidentally buy tickets on your 20th wedding anniversary and have to spend the next 20 years of your marriage making up for it. Yeah, checking first is smart. So check Allstate first for a quote that could save you hundreds. You're in good hands with Allstate. Savings vary. Terms apply. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Northbrook, Illinois.
Welcome back to Rams Up, your favorite LA Rams podcast. We are part of the Fans First Sports Network. You can follow us on our YouTube channel as well at LA Rams Up. I'm your host, Mark. I'll be joined occasionally by my football gurus, Paul and Ian. Let's get to it. Hey, what's going on, Ram fans? Hope you're all having a good day, a good Valentine's Day. Yes, recording this on Valentine's Day. And if your significant other is letting you watch Rams content on Valentine's Day, you got a very good partner indeed. And I have a good one to even let me do some recording prior to our big night out on the town. Oh, it's going to be off the hook if you only knew. But hey, there is a lot happening in the Rams world, and I'm going to go over a couple of items, and then I'm going to get into a bunch of things Ram fans should be excited about, focusing on the good stuff, and we'll talk about a couple of players that maybe we should be concerned about their future. But let's kick this off by first talking about Matthew Stafford's future. Now, more rumors circulating about his future with the Rams. Tyler Sullivan of CBS Sports published an article arguing and making a pretty sensible argument, actually, that Matthew Stafford could be headed to, he named 3 teams, the Pittsburgh Steelers, New York Giants, and Minnesota Vikings. I won't get into the details of these trade scenarios, but all of them could be really good, really a step forward for the Rams in forming their future, building a team for the future, although they would be without Matthew Stafford. So I don't know how I feel about it, but if we landed a first-round pick, and what Tyler Sullivan is saying is that the intent for the Rams would be to find a bridge quarterback and then add a bunch of picks next year so they'd have the ammunition to move up and grab a quarterback next year, feeling that next year's draft will be much more appealing from a quarterback perspective than this year. So, hey, I'm just the messenger here, not sure how I feel about it. Tyler Sullivan seems to think, and I think Colin Cowherd talked a little bit about this as well, that the Rams might be getting a little tired of this saga, dealing with this quarterback situation every year. And maybe it is time to move on. I'm not advocating that. I want Matthew Stafford back. And, some of these scenarios involve Aaron Rodgers coming to the Rams. And he might fit in really well with this offense and with Sean McVay. Maybe Sean McVay is a guy that he would respect and actually, kind of get with the program as far as play calling and all that. But I just did not like the vibe I saw with him on the New York Jets. I think it'd be a big distraction. But if he's wearing the Rams helmet, I guess I'll be rooting for him. We'll all be rooting for him, and hopefully he could succeed. And again, it's still probably a long shot that will happen. The ideal scenario is Matthew Stafford returns to the Rams. If they end up trading him and getting a first-round pick next year, maybe add a second-round pick this year, there's a bunch of scenarios. Check out Tyler Sullivan's article. He lays out all the three proposed trades, landing picks in this year's draft and or next year's draft. So we'll see how that goes. Now, on to the good stuff. I'm going to talk about things that we should be happy about, things that we should be celebrating as Ram fans, as I say here up front. In the video anyways, it's a great day to be a Ram fan, and it really is. So the first thing I want to talk about is Quentin Lake, our defensive captain, safety out of UCLA, Carnell Lake son. This guy has quietly developed into one of the better safeties in the league, defensive backs. I know he plays all over the place back there, a team leader. And remember, in 2022, we got him in the 6th round, another 6th-round gem. He doesn't get as much attention because of all these other great picks, the Puka Nakuas and the Kobe Turners and all these other guys. But, he dealt with an injury that first year, was on the PUP to start and didn't get on the field. I think it was until November. So he's really only had 2 solid years in this league, and he is a gem, a 6th-round gem, and we should be, he's the glue back there on this defense. We should really be happy to have him. Another great player, another great draft pick by Les Snead and Sean McVay. Quentin Lake, our defensive captain back there. And let's talk about our running back situation. Are there any teams in the league that can feel as good about the running back situation? We won't talk about fumbles. Is there any team that feels as good about the running back situation as we do with Kyren Williams and Blake Corum? And I know Blake Corum's a little bit of an unknown, but I saw enough to know that he's going to be very successful when he gets his chance. Now, keep in mind that Kyren Williams, his rookie year, barely played. He had 35 carries for 129 yards in his rookie year, compared to Blake Corum, actually got a little bit more action, 58 carries for 207 yards, very similar yards per carry. Since that rookie year, Kyren Williams, over 2 years, over 2,400 yards rushing, 31 total TDs. Now, there were the 8 fumbles, lost 5 of them, and that is something he needs to work on. And then Blake Corum, he's going to get his chances next year. He might have got him in the playoffs, except for the broken arm. But we saw enough of him in college, and he had 2 really good runs that unfortunately were called back. And there are other teams that have probably a comparable or better running back situation than our Rams, but still, we should be darn happy, extremely happy about our running back room. And then there's Ronnie Rivers and Cody Schrader as well. So what else we got? We talked about Quentin Lake. We talked about our running backs. What about these 2 undrafted free agents, Jalen McCullough and Omar Speights? We talked about this on our live stream. By the way, hopefully you caught that. Ian and I did a 2-hour plus live stream the other night, and it was really good. I thought it went really well, considering it was the first time we've done that together. I did a live stream, I think it was like a year ago, by myself, and we're going to be doing more of those. It's a lot of fun. Gives you a chance to interact with us real time, ask questions. We'll have different guests joining us for different live streams, popping in for 5 and 10 minutes. We're just getting rolling on that, trying to learn our way through the interface and how live streams work. But I think it went pretty well. But Jalen McCullough and Omar Speights, I think these guys, put on top of the guys we drafted, what an incredible haul this rookie year, this past year with these rookies we brought in. McCullough out of Tennessee. He played with Byron Young, by the way. 4 interceptions in Spates after playing at Oregon and LSU. 67 total tackles, and he didn't start the first 6 games. Played mostly special teams. So yeah, we got some 2 solid contributors, and they will play significant roles next year for sure. Omar Spates and Jalen McCullough. And hey, while we celebrate these guys, and we also have to recognize why they're here, and we're going to talk about that in a second. Talk about our front office and the great job they do. Next up, what are we going to talk about? What about our Florida State Phenoms? Man, Jared Verse and Braden Fisk. We could go on and on about these guys. Combined this year for 110 tackles, 12 sacks, 21 tackles for a loss. Verse, Defensive Rookie of the Year, All Rookie, All Pro. He's the first Rams Defensive Rookie of the Year since Aaron Donald in 2014, and had a couple of splash plays, including that 57-yard fumble recovery and touchdown in the playoff win over the Vikings. And you watch the tape on this guy, his stats don't really even reflect how impactful he was. There's so much film of him just turning 300-pound offensive tackles onto their side and running them over. We got a gem there. Led all NFL rookies with 77 pressures, 18 quarterback hits in the regular season. And then there's Fisk, the 39th pick overall, also out of Florida State. We'll never forget that phone call to Braden Fisk, finding out that he'd been drafted onto the same team as Jared Verse. Man, one of my favorite moments. So Fisk ended up with 8.5 sacks and 2 forced fumbles. So, man, what a haul this was. These 2 guys out of Florida State. And, when you think about where we were when Aaron Donald retired and we were worried about this defense, where's it going to go? Where is it headed? And then prior to drafting these 2 guys, what did we do the year before? We're going to have 2 third-year studs coming back, Byron Young and Kobe Turner. And back-to-back years, we go defensive tackle, edge, outside linebacker early in the draft, and has it paid off. Turner, a 3rd-round pick, number 89 overall out of Wake Forest, also made the all-rookie team in 2023. Should have been the defensive rookie of the year. I don't think I'm just being a Ram fanboy here saying that. He deserved it, no question about it. He has 14 sacks in his 2 seasons, 17 counting the playoffs. And then Byron Young actually got picked before Kobe Turner, 3rd-round pick, number 77 overall out of Tennessee, another all-rookie selection. He has 13 sacks in the regular season, 15.5 counting the playoffs, and has forced 3 fumbles. And let's not forget how he came over. He came over in that Jalen Ramsey trade. We got a pick and Hunter Long in that trade. Used that pick to draft Byron Young. So, man, just think about that. Aaron Donald retires. What are we going to do? Well, actually, we had already drafted Kobe Turner and Byron Young, but Aaron Donald retires, and then we add Jared Verse and Braden Fisk on top of the 2 guys we drafted the year before. We've come a long way with this defense. Just need a couple more pieces to turn it into an elite unit. Talked about a bunch of guys here already, right? Jalen McCullough, Omar Spates, Quentin Lake, Jared Verse, Braden Fisk, Byron Young, Kobe Turner. Yeah, we have a lot to be excited about. Us Ram fans, we certainly do. What else should we be celebrating as Ram fans? What about the Brain Trust? And they're kind of in the shadows, a lot of these guys. Tony Pastors, he is the guy that manages these contracts, manages the salary cap, works other stuff too, marketing, community stuff. And he's been with the Rams for 15 years. And trust me, he's one of the best in the business. And Kevin Demoff, the president, and he was instrumental in getting this team back to LA. So we got to salute him. I still remember him giving some speeches to some local, I don't know which university it was, one of the local colleges, alumni. He gave a speech there. And this was before it was official, I think. And it was the first time I really realized that the Rams are coming back to LA. Kevin Demoff, a big part in that. And then there's Les Snead, I think he's gotten better. I think his early drafts were just, okay, whatever. Had a few hits, obviously, Todd Gurley, Aaron Donald, but there were a lot of misses too. He had a couple years that didn't go well, but he's definitely gotten better at it. And then, of course, Sean McVay. What more is there to say about Sean McVay? 39 years old, a 606 winning percentage in the regular season, 615 in the playoffs, 8-5 in the playoffs, by the way. Already the Rams winningest coach. And then there's Stan Kroenke. And the one thing I will say about Stan Kroenke is what many great leaders do. I don't know what goes on behind closed doors, but it appears to me he hires good people and then gets the heck out of their way. And we don't hear a peep out of him except at, like in the locker room after winning the Super Bowl. And that's the way it should be. He's a great owner. He really is. And we should be happy. Oh, well, I mean, if Stan Kroenke didn't step in and take advantage of that situation and take ownership, majority ownership, full ownership of this franchise, Rams might still be in St. Louis. Well, actually, it almost certainly would be.
Still getting around to that fix on your car? You got this. On eBay, you'll find millions of parts guaranteed to fit. Doesn't matter if it's a major engine repair or your first time swapping your windshield wipers. eBay has that part you need, ready to click perfectly into place. For changes big and small. Loud or quiet. Find all the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. But you already know that. eBay. Things, people, love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
I can say to my new Samsung Galaxy S25 Ultra, hey, find a keto-friendly restaurant nearby and text it to Beth and Steve. And it does, without me lifting a finger. So I can get in more squats anywhere I can. 1, 2, 3.
Will that be cash or credit?
Credit. 4.
Galaxy S25 Ultra, the AI companion that does the heavy lifting so you can do you. Get yours at Samsung.com. Compatible with select apps. Requires Google Gemini account. Results may vary based on input. Check responses for accuracy.
And the next thing up, not a great picture here on the YouTube channel, a collage of the greatest stadium in the world, SoFi Stadium. If you haven't been there for a game, you gotta make it down there at least once, and you gotta take the tour. I assume they're still doing it. I did it several years ago, and it was one of the funnest experience my family has ever had. Check it out. It was like $38, free parking, and we were there for 4 or 5 hours, a couple hours on the field, throwing a football around. They make you feel very comfortable. I assume it hasn't changed. It was pretty cool. And I thought it was going to be kind of a season ticket, sales pitch type thing. And it wasn't that at all. They just give you a little tour and then let you on the field and have some skill competitions and take some selfies at the 50-yard line. Whatever you want to do, it was quite the blast. It really was. Highly recommend it. And what else are we going to talk about? Hey, what about our punter? Another late round draft pick. I call him my game changer, Ethan Evans. He's not a Pro Bowl punter. He's not elite by any stretch. I don't think he's as good as Johnny Hekker was in his prime. But 30 punts inside the 20, only 2 touchbacks, and he was very clutch late in the season. And it's a good time to actually mention our special teams. What a turnaround from last year, from 2023, a generationally bad special teams unit. I mean, it was horrid by almost every measure. I saw some statistics and some commentary out there demonstrating that the Rams special teams in 2023 were one of the worst units ever. And this past year, punting, pretty good. Field goals. Joshua Carty, he had a couple struggles, but by the end of the year, it looked like he was pretty much money. Alex Ward, our long snapper, I don't recall a single issue. And our kickoffs at Ethan Evans taking care of business. booming it out of bounds in most cases. And when it wasn't out of bounds, I'm pretty sure it was by design, not out of bounds, but out of the back of the end zone. And then our kick return and punt returns, Xavier Smith, Jordan Whittington, a couple other guys touched the ball a few times, I think. Pretty darn good. No complaints. Pretty solid on the special teams front. And, we don't have to be elite in every phase of the game. But after that 2023 season, we should not be complaining. Ethan Evans, is he the strongest punter ever? He might be. And speaking of strongmen, this is just a coincidence. I didn't even know I had this lined up like this. The 6th round strongman, Bo Limmer, another late round draft pick. And we had some poor performances by some other players early in the year. And next thing you know, rookie Bo Limmer is our starting center. Very good in the run game. Had some struggles in pass protection. But this guy, who, remember, he bench pressed 700 pounds in college, University of Arkansas. Got to be thrilled that this guy, that we got him where we did. Is he the answer at center long term? I think so. We'll see if Jonah Jackson has anything to say about that. But just in the worst case scenario, our interior offensive line is deep, really deep, with the guys we have, the guys that we can plug in there right now. So very excited and very happy Bo Limmer made his way onto our Los Angeles Rams. What else we got? Puka Nacua. He is really right now might be the face of the LA Rams. See him at the Lakers game hanging out with Luka and LeBron James. Pretty cool. And, he is such a fun and exciting guy. So much fun to watch. I call him the funnest wide receiver in the NFL. And his stats, pretty incredible over this short season, his relatively short career, what he has done in this past year especially. 990 yards in 11 games, 90 yards per game, behind only Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson. And it's pretty incredible what he can do on the football field, his ability to toe tap, his ability to get extra yards after contact. Cornerbacks must hate trying to tackle this guy. He's like SJ39 playing wide receiver. What a stud. And again, kind of a happy-go-lucky, fun guy, works hard. And it's just, you can't overstate how fortunate we are to get this guy where we did in the draft, and his ability to step up almost immediately and produce. And we just got to keep him healthy. And I hope Sean McVay diversifies this offense to protect his wide receivers a little bit. I know he can block. He's a great blocker, but let's reduce the amount of contact he endures on a play-by-play basis. Maybe mix in some other wide receivers, Sean. Hopefully that's what you're talking about when you say you're going to diversify this offense. And hey, last year we had guys like Xavier Smith and Tutu Atwell on the bench that barely saw the field, Jordan Whittington as well. I shouldn't say they barely saw the field. They didn't see the field nearly as much as they should have, in the opinion of most of us observers, I would say. So hopefully we see a change in that. I don't mind, and a lot of this might go on Matthew Stafford too, especially once they get on the field. It's clear Matthew Stafford has favorites, and reasonable, and it's reasonable. It's understandable why he would have favorites like Puka Nacua and Matthew Stafford and Tyler Higbee. He comes back and immediately starts producing. So, a little bit on Matthew Stafford, a lot of it on Sean McVay, but getting off track here. Puka Nacua, the funnest wide receiver in the NFL, and we have him in LA. Kind of cool. And speaking of tight ends and Tyler Higbee, and, the last couple of things I'm going to talk about here, things to be excited about, things to celebrate. If you're a Los Angeles Rams fan, if I do this in a month, a couple of these last two, I might have to delete this, or certainly won't be revisiting Tyler Higbee, the greatest tight end ever in the history of the LA Rams, possibly Joined the Rams in 2016, same year they drafted Jared Goff, has 3,668 receiving yards. That's 13th on the all-time Rams list, number one among tight ends. And when you look at this list of Rams wide receivers, it's not a small feat to be ranked 13th. I mean, Isaac Bruce, Torrey Holt, Cooper Kupp, Henry Allard, Tom Fears, Elroy Crazy Legs Hirsch, Robert Woods, goes on and on, Flipper Anderson. So number one, as far as tight ends go, he's got 12 wide receivers ahead of him. Man, number 89, one of my favorite players, a beast at the tight end position, Tyler Higbee. And, his time with the Rams could be coming to an end, possibly. I certainly hope not. But, he's fighting through injuries again at the end of the year. He was. The problem is, Hunter Long's a free agent. That leaves us with Colby Parkinson and Davis Allen, who, are serviceable tight ends, but neither of them have proven to be the guy. Although in Davis Allen's defense and Hunter Long's defense as well, it could be as much as the play calling and some Matthew Stafford favoritism going on. I really think that's a thing. But Tyler Higbee will always be, kind of the hallmark of the LA Rams since they came back to LA. Fits this offense so well, and just a tough dude, blocks, plays the position right. And, if he moves on or retires, I don't know, I'm going to miss him. I always felt much better with Tyler Higbee out there than just about any other tight end we've had over the last 10 years. And there's been a few of them. And the last the last player we're going to talk about is that Matthew Stafford, the gunslinger himself. And hey, let's just pretend for a minute for this presentation, for this podcast, for this video, that Matthew Stafford is coming back as an LA Ram. Let's forget the possibility. Just discount it that he's going to leave. And let's celebrate the best quarterback in the NFC. He's got to be right there with Jalen Hurts and who else, right? Who else you got? Jaden Daniels with the Commanders is on the rise. Not sure who I would take right now, depending on what you're talking about. Winning a Super Bowl, Matthew Stafford, 5-6 year plan. I'd take the Commanders quarterback, but Matthew Stafford has proven he is one of the best in the business and a great team leader, a leader of men. The no-look passes, the toughness. Wish he was a little bit more mobile. It's probably his only shortcoming, but still, Matthew Stafford, if he comes back, we are in the Super Bowl hunt. If he does, I'm not going to talk about if he doesn't. Said I wasn't going to do it, so I won't. Matthew Stafford coming back to the Rams, a guy that we should be extremely happy to have. Well, we all are. We all know this. I don't know a single Ram fan that is hoping Matthew Stafford moves on. And there may be a couple people, and I've actually done it myself, complaining about this annual thing we do, this annual dance that the Rams do with Matthew Stafford. But yeah, getting a little tired of that. But bottom line is, Matthew, come on back to LA for one more year at least. Let's get it done. Let's win another Super Bowl. So that's what I have for you. What was it, 12 things to be excited about, to be happy about here on Valentine's Day, not Thanksgiving Day, I know, but the things to be thankful for us Los Angeles Rams, things to look forward to. A lot going on in LA. There's going to be some changes over the next, there could be some significant changes over the next couple of weeks. But right now, today, franchise is in pretty good shape. Let's go get another Super Bowl out here from Rams Up. That's going to do it for this episode. Remember, you can reach us at ramsuppodcast@gmail.com. And don't forget about our YouTube channel. Our handle is at laramsup.com. Till next time, keep the horns up, stay safe, and have fun out there.